couple tiny things, but he didn't really, well, never got erratic. Here we go, Brisa on a big ride.
Brisa Hennessy, representing Costa Rica, but grew up surfing in Hawaii, taps into the power and drops into a solid set wave to kick this heat off and finishes on her feet. It's got to be the main goal with your first two rides out here at Main Break. Really wild conditions out there for the women at the moment. No easy feat.
She's way behind that whitewater, and kind of, there wasn't a drive out of the bottom that kind of meant there was a bit of downtime there. Then she got that snap and went for this little layback interpretation of a closeout move to get out of there and complete that ride. And as you said, Ronnie, I think just getting the completions on those first couple really takes a lot of the pressure off. See how deep she was when she took off. Great positioning for the takeoff. Just a little bit of that downtime right there into that nice snap. And we've been so impressed by these young ladies' approach to surfing against her heroes and idols and finally getting to that place where she wants to be.
Well positioned at the top end of the ratings now. Here's what happened to Malia.
Well, she's not exactly too well positioned at the top end of that wave. She might be on the ratings, Ronnie, but you saw her get stuck up there and held in that lip for that little bit. And as it just dropped out from underneath her, look at that whitewater just rumbling her right now.
During that interview, we saw Malia just eat it on a good size wave. And now Brisa's up, looking at the left. Just pacing herself, grabs that rail for a moment. Climbs up into the pocket. And I know when we see the replay of this wave button, you'll be able to pick up on maybe how Brisa can get a little closer to the pocket of that wave. Kind of turning from mid-face, so has so much speed when she gets to the top of the wave.
If that bottom turn can come and be a more substantial turn itself, then that's going to be a part of the whole scoring potential that you're creating. Snaps out of the top there. A couple of turns. Interesting to see how this one will score in comparison to the right. The right might have been a bigger wave, but the start of some of these lefts, the face looks really clean, doesn't it? And there's that opportunity to really dig the rail in and drive those turns.
Yeah, if you're going to push a big turn, you want to do it here on the outside because it does get a little bit lumpy as it turns into the wind on the inside.
It sure does. Nice little snap, change of direction there out of the top, dropping down around this one. And again, the bottom turn component of the performance doesn't feel like it's got as much focus in it as was what's happening out of the top. And if she was to put more in out of the bottom, you engage the audience, you engage the judge earlier in the turn, and they're riding it right from the bottom with you. And in this particular heat, it's one ride really that you're out, and it's the 5 and the 3, and in the context of the big picture, neither of those maybe continue to be scores, but Brisa continues to just keep racking up the opportunities.
And does well to drive around that first section. This wave's starting to slow up a little bit, and Brisa lets go of some decent turns now, finding that bottom to top rhythm.
Yeah. And
letting go of a nice sequence of turns there.
And that's definitely bettering the 317, no doubt about it.
She had to kind of race this first section. She was a little deep, but she off the bottom went a little harder this time.
Definitely, it drove it into the pocket. And this one too, again, beautiful snap. And again, there was that energy from the bottom turn to the top turn that had us engaged. And that could possibly be her best ride of the heat.
Well, this is from more of the judge's perspective. She rounded out her moves a little bit more.
And the second one was critical, up into the lip. I've been so impressed by I've said it all day, but the attack that Briss has brought to the whole year so far. Doesn't look rookie-ish. It looks like someone who's hungry and experienced.
And I don't think she probably would have focused on too many of the lefts in her free surf so far in the event window, in the morning sessions. But she's seeing the opportunity there at the moment and capitalised on that last ride. It was a smaller wave, but she dug into a couple of decent turns and got the best number of the heat, a 6.5. So that requirement just grows now for Malia. She's having a look at one on the outside now, just over 13 minutes to go. And we'll see if the 25-year-old can get herself back in this one. Bit of foam on the face to deal with, but no dramas for this championship tour veteran who throws everything at the oncoming section, but can't ride out. Becoming a real issue for Malia here, as Brisa has a look at one on the outside.
I suppose that was one of the singular errors that you look at that and go, really?
There still hasn't been an ultra dynamic turn laid down in this heat too. Brees has been surfing pretty well. She might, she's surrendered priority over to Malia now. The wave size went down on the second ride. She turned it into a 5.5, took an even smaller ride and did some of her better turns for a 6.5. They're not huge numbers, but enough to get the win over Malia here. And Breesa is charging through to the quarterfinals once again. It feels like this Rookie of the Year title might be in the bag, and we're only 4 events in. What a performance from Breesa, powering on through to the quarters.